Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really digging into something incredibly human, something that shapes us, storytelling.
Yeah.
From those quick chats at work to the big sagas that define whole cultures, stories are, well, they're kind of how we function, right? How we communicate, learn, even remember things.
That's absolutely right. And neuroscience actually shows us, our brains are literally built for narrative. We don't just like stories, we think in them.
We think of them, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's how we process things, share what we've been through, persuade people, build connections, even just figure out our own lives. I mean, think about it. Explaining a tricky project, posting something online, musing over your goals. It's all storytelling, really.
Okay, so our mission here today is to unpack what makes stories just so powerful. Why do some stick with you, make you think or act, while others just vanish? And more importantly, how can you get better at this ancient art to make your own communication stronger? We've looked into psychology, neuroscience, cultural stuff, trying to find the core of it all.
Yeah.
So as we kick things off, let me ask you this. What's a story that really stuck with you? Could be a book, a movie, maybe something personal someone shared.
Oh, that's a good question.
For me, it was a pretty simple story, actually. A mentor told me about this big failure she had early on, and it landed. Because it wasn't about being perfect,
Yeah.
It was about real resilience. What about for you? What story stands out and why?
That's a great example, and it really underscores why this matters, doesn't it? Stories are like the foundation of real communication.
Yeah.
Build trust, get people curious, create those lasting bonds, and not just out there, professionally or personally, but even inside your own head, how you understand yourself, motivate yourself.
Okay.
So yeah, let's define what storytelling really is, and then maybe explore the different kinds out there.
Okay, so at its most basic, storytelling is sharing a narrative, right? A sequence of events. Could be real, could be made up, but it conveys meaning or sparks emotion or makes someone want to do something.
Exactly.
That's how we take all the messy, random stuff in life and make it coherent,
Right.
make it land for someone else.
Precisely. It's definitely more than just listing facts. It's about engaging the whole person. Stories weave together structure, feeling, purpose. They create the shared experience. They can be super subtle, like a quick, funny comment, or, really deep and life-changing. And that power, engaging heart and mind, that's what makes it such a vital skill.
That distinction is really helpful. We often think story means something epic, like a novel or a film.
Right.
But what about just everyday talk?
Right.
I've noticed there's a kind of spectrum. You've got the light, almost throwaway anecdotes and casual chat,
Right.
and then you have those deeper, more intentional stories we tell to really mean something or connect.
That's a perfect way to put it. Let's maybe call them casual storytelling and deep storytelling.
Yeah, I like that. Casual and deep. They feel different.
They really do. Casual storytelling is that spontaneous stuff, often unplanned, used in daily life. It's pretty low stakes, mostly about building rapport, making connections, without needing a ton of emotional energy.
Like social glue.
Exactly. Social lubrication. Sharing a quick, funny thing about your commute or a light story from the weekend. It's like a conversational handshake, really.
Totally. It creates ease, fills the gaps, makes you seem approachable, and there's not much vulnerability, right? So it's great for networking, quick chats, just commenting on something you both see. Man, this rain reminds me of that camping trip. Fleeting, but it builds a little thread.
And then on the other end, you have deep storytelling. And that's a whole different ballgame.
Okay.
This is where you go past the surface. Share something that really matters, core values, big struggles, dreams, lessons learned the hard way. It's intentional, often emotional, and yeah, definitely more vulnerable.
Right, like telling a close friend about the stress of a big career choice or opening up about a personal challenge.
Nice.
That completely shifts the energy, doesn't it? Deep storytelling is about real intimacy, deep understanding. It takes courage from the teller and full attention and empathy from the listener.
Yeah.
It's a difference between, a quick tweet and a long, heartfelt email. And there's research too, right, that sharing vulnerable stories builds trust fast.
Absolutely. There's a study, I think 2018, showing exactly that. Personal, vulnerable stories can create closeness surprisingly quickly, even with strangers.
Wow.
So if we compare them, casual is surface, low risk, quick, builds rapport. Good for general social stuff, outcome. Social ease, feeling connected.
Okay.
Deep storytelling. Personal, high emotional investment often takes longer, builds real intimacy and growth.
Oh.
Best for private, close relationships. Outcome. Strong bonds, mutual understanding.
And here's the thing, neither one is inherently better. Right.
Not at all.
They're just different tools. And the skill is knowing when to use which one. And that depends on you, the situation, even your culture, I
Hmm.
guess.
Exactly. And personality plays a huge role. Extroverts might naturally lean into those quick, witty, casual stories. Introverts, maybe they find more value in the deeper one-on-one shares.
Yeah, I can see that. Introverts could even get good at what you might call uh, deep, casual storytelling, finding subtle ways to connect without huge vulnerability.
That's a great point. Think about, ancient campfires. Light tales about the hunt for fun, but also those profound myths to teach and bond the group.
Or like in Jane Austen novels, all that witty banter that's casual storytelling, setting the scene for the deeper stuff later.
It's always been about navigating that spectrum of connection.
It really is universal. Even like Socrates used dialogues, basically stories, to explore huge ideas. And Eastern traditions, Sufi tales, Buddhist parables, they've used narrative forever to pass on wisdom.
Yeah, it's fundamental.
Storytelling is just how humans have always connected, taught, inspired across time, across cultures.
So bringing it back to you listening, which type feels more natural for you right now, casual or deep? And how could using both maybe make you a more flexible, effective communicator?
Which leads us to what actually shapes your personal style.
Right, because it's not just random. Your style comes from a mix of things. Your personality, definitely, but also the situation you're in, your cultural background, even just how you're feeling that day.
Okay, let's talk personality. An extrovert might just naturally shine with casual stories, right? Effortlessly telling funny anecdotes at a party. Like my friend Priya, she's in marketing, and she's brilliant at using lively stories at conferences to connect with people.
Totally. But on the other hand, for someone more introverted, that constant casual sharing can feel exhausting.
Yeah?
They might get much more out of deeper one-on-one conversations. My colleague James, a designer, he really comes alive talking about his creative process or philosophy with just one trusted friend. Introverts often go for quality over quantity in stories, seeking that deeper connection.
And then you got ambiverts who can kind of switch between them.
Exactly. Like Sarah, a teacher I know. She uses quick, casual stories with parents. Oh, your daughter had such a great aha moment today, just to build that easy rapport. But with her close colleagues, she'll consciously share deeper stories about teaching challenges, using the narrative to process things and connect on that level.
And there's research on this too.
Yeah, a 2020 study showed introverts tend to get more satisfaction from meaningful narrative chats, while extroverts enjoy both casual and deep, often in groups. Think about a team retreat.
Okay.
The extrovert might tell a funny story about a group project fail. The introvert might find a quiet corner for a serious talk about career goals. Both useful, just different style.
Your mood matters too, right? If you're stressed or tired, casual is easier, low effort.
Definitely. Like Emma, a nurse I know, after a really long shift, she might just share a quick story about a new coffee place she found. Just unwind.
Yeah.
But when you're craving real connection, maybe during a rough patch, deep storytelling feels necessary. Like Michael telling his sister about his worries over a family member's health.
And the setting is huge. Job interview, you need polished, concise stories. Show your skills, don't overshare.
Right. But dinner with best friends, that's prime time for deep, vulnerable sharing.
Okay. And culture, how does that play in?
Oh, it's fascinating. In what we call high-context cultures, Japan, India, for example, communication often starts lighter, more indirect. You build trust gradually before diving deep.
Right.
Whereas in low-context cultures, say the US or Germany, people might jump into direct, personal stories more quickly.
That makes sense. So someone like Priya, my friend with roots in both India and the US, she might notice her family uses stories subtly to reinforce community ties, while her American colleagues might open a meeting with a quick story about their weekend. Both work, just different ways to connect.
And we can't forget the brain itself. Neuroscience shows storytelling lights up multiple areas: language, emotion, memory centers.
Oh, wow.
When you hear a really good story, especially an emotional one, your brain releases dopamine. That's why it feels rewarding and sticks with you.
And casual stories.
Casual storytelling relies more on the prefrontal cortex for that quick social processing. Keeps things smooth without draining you emotionally or cognitively as much.
And technology is changing things dramatically too, isn't it? Like, platforms like X seem built for quick, casual stories, a funny observation, a brief moment.
For sure. They're perfect for that rapid-fire casual stuff.
But they also allow for deep stories, right?
Yeah.
Finding online groups, having intense video calls with friends far away.
Absolutely. Jen might tweet a witty line about a movie, classic casual, but later he joins his online book club on Zoom and gets into a deep, vulnerable chat about how the book hit home for him. Both valuable, just different needs.
So what does all this mean for you, the listener? Why bother getting good at both casual and deep storytelling?
Well, the upsides are pretty big. Casual storytelling, it's low effort, super versatile, works almost anywhere networking, quick chats, it builds rapport fast, cuts through awkwardness, makes you seem approachable. Think of Emma at that fundraiser, easing into conversation with a light story.
Right. But if that's all you do, it can feel a bit shallow, maybe, like just skimming the surface.
Exactly, you miss the deeper connections. Deep storytelling, on the other hand, that builds real intimacy, empathy. It can even help you grow personally. When Tom shares his real fears in a safe space, he gets understanding, strengthens that bond.
But the downside there is obvious. It takes guts, emotional energy, means being vulnerable. There's always a risk, right, of being judged or misunderstood.
Definitely. And casual storytelling, while lower risk, can get repetitive or feel fake if you overdo it.
So the goal isn't one or the other. It's mastering both.
Yeah.
Knowing when to pull out which tool.
That's it, exactly. Building a versatile storytelling toolkit. For casual, maybe practice with open-ended prompts. What's the weirdest thing that happened this week? Invites a story, keeps it light.
Okay.
For deep stories, be intentional. Choose the right setting, quiet, private. Sometimes starting with a small personal struggle can signal it's okay to go deeper. Like Sarah sharing a minor work frustration to open the door for a friend to share something bigger.
And these skills aren't just personal. They matter at work, too. Casual stories build team spirit. Maria telling a quick, relatable success story before a meeting unifies the group.
Absolutely. And deep storytelling, used carefully, incredibly powerful for mentoring, leadership, building serious trust, like Alex sharing his real career hopes and fears with his manager to get meaningful guidance.
Okay, so let's get into the nuts and bolts. How do stories actually work on our brains?
Right. They work because they tapped into how we naturally process information. There's a really useful framework, kind of inspired by habit models we can call the narrative loop. It has 4 key stages that help a story land and stick: the hook, the journey, the climax, and the resolution.
Okay, break that down. The hook's at the beginning, obviously. How does it grab you?
The hook is that irresistible start, the thing that makes someone lean in and listen. It could be an intriguing question, a surprising statistic, an emotional opening line. Something that signals, pay attention, this is worth it. You won't believe what happened to me on the way here. Or, I was stranded, middle of nowhere, phone dead. It sparks that immediate curiosity.
Got it. Then the journey. That's the main part of the story unfolding.
Precisely. The journey is the narrative arc itself, the sequence of events, the rising emotions, the challenges faced. This is where you build tension, keep people curious, make them feel invested. For that stranded person, it's describing the search for help, the worry, the wrong turns. You're painting the picture.
Okay, it makes sense. And the climax, the big moment.
The climax is the peak, the point of highest tension, the big reveal, the crucial decision, maybe spotting that distant light, or the moment a stranger finally stops to help. It delivers the emotional punch, makes the story memorable.
And finally, the resolution, wrapping it up.
Right. The resolution ties it all together, gives closure, pulls out the meaning or the lesson learned. It's the, and that's why I always pack a power bank now moment. Satisfies the listener, reinforces the point.
So the loop is, hook 'em, take 'em on a journey, hit the climax, and then provide the resolution or meaning. That feels really practical. Can you give a quick example?
Sure. Imagine Sarah in a team meeting. Okay, so last year, I almost quit my job over one really awful Tuesday morning. That's the hook.
Okay, I'm listening.
I was drowning in deadlines, totally overwhelmed, felt like I just wasn't cut out for it. That's the journey. Then my boss, who almost never gets personal, pulled me aside, shared how she'd felt the exact same self-doubt early in her career. That's the climax.
Wow.
That one conversation just flipped a switch for me, reminded me why I do this, gave me the push to keep going, and that's the resolution. See? Concise, but it hits all 4 beats.
That's a great example. And you can see how that loop works for a quick anecdote like that, or a big presentation, or even just a strong social media post. It's about being intentional at each stage.
Exactly.
Now, building on that,
Yeah.
how do we actually get better at this? Because it's not just talent, right? It's a skill, a habit we can build.
You're absolutely right. And we can actually borrow ideas from habit formation science, like the 4 laws of behavior change. We can adapt those for storytelling, make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. These give us a practical way to practice consistently.
Okay, let's unpack Law 1, make it obvious. How do we set up cues to actually tell stories?
You design your environment, keep a little notebook or a note on your phone just for story ideas, jot down observations, lessons, funny moments, put it somewhere visible,
Okay.
or try story stacking. Link storytelling to something you already do. Like, after my morning coffee, I'll write down one story idea from yesterday. And for bad habits, like rambling, make those cues invisible. If you tend to over-explain, maybe avoid starting long stories when you're rushed.
Smart. Okay, Law 2, make it attractive. How do we make ourselves want to tell stories?
You link it to something you enjoy. That's called temptation bundling. Maybe you only let yourself listen to your favorite podcast after you practice outlining a story. Or join a group where storytelling is fun in social Toastmasters, a book club, whatever. Reframe it in your head. Not, oh, I have to prep this story, but cool, I get to share my idea and connect with people.
I like that reframe. Law 3, make it easy. How do we lower the barrier?
Start small. Use the 2-minute rule. Aim for a story that takes 2 minutes or less. Challenge yourself. Tell the highlight of your day in 3 sentences.
Okay, doable.
Create simple templates, just basic hook, journey, climax, resolution points. That makes drafting feel less daunting. And for bad habits, increase the friction. If you tend to overshare personal stuff at work, practice pausing for, say, 5 seconds before you launch into it. Give yourself a beat to think.
Good friction.
Bye.
Okay, Law 4, make it satisfying. How do we make it feel rewarding?
You need feedback. After you share a story, consciously notice how it landed. Did people laugh, ask questions, seem engaged? Maybe keep a simple story tracker, log the stories you tell and how they seem to go. Seeing progress feels good. Or build in a tiny reward. After I share that story in the meeting, I'll grab that fancy coffee. And accountability helps. Share stories with a friend who gives honest feedback. Shared growth is satisfying.
These laws seem great for getting started. But how do you keep it going long term? When life gets crazy or you lose motivation.
Yeah, that's key. This is where you shift to identity-based storytelling. Instead of just focusing on the goal, like, I want to give a good presentation, focus on who you want to be. I am someone who connects through stories.
Okay.
Every time you tell a story, even a tiny one, it's like casting a vote for that identity. Over time, it becomes less something you do and more just part of who you are.
That feels powerful. What else helps maintain momentum?
Keep it challenging, but achievable. That's the Goldilocks rule. Start simple, then gradually try more complex stuff like a longer presentation or personal essay. If it feels boring, shake it up. Try humor, a different delivery, maybe add visuals.
And check in regularly.
Yeah, schedule story audits. Maybe once a week, just reflect. What stories worked? Why? What didn't? How can I adjust?
And setbacks will happen, right? You tell a story and it just flops or you freeze up.
Absolutely. The most important rule then is never miss twice. One awkward story isn't failure, it's just data. Learn from it, and tell another story reasonably soon.
Don't let it stop you.
Exactly. Use if-then plans too. If I start feeling nervous presenting, then I will pause, breathe, and find one friendly face. Forgive yourself for the off moments. They happen. Consistency beats perfection every time.
Okay, let's boil this down. Actionable strategies for you right now. First, pause and reflect. Before telling any story, quick check. Who's my audience? What's my goal here? Connect, persuade, teach.
Good one. Second, challenge your own biases. Avoid cliches or assuming what people want to hear. Ask, is this story authentic to me?
Third, manage emotions. Nervous. Practice in a low-stakes place first. Build that confidence muscle.
Fourth, simplify the structure. Use that narrative loop hook, journey, climax, resolution, even for short, casual tales. It keeps you focused.
Fifth, set up your space. Keep the story journal or app handy. Capture ideas daily. Make it obvious.
And finally, sixth, seek feedback. Share stories with trusted people. Actively ask for their thoughts. How did it land? What could be clearer?
Okay, so here's a concrete challenge for you this week. Make a point to tell one casual story and one deep story.
Yeah, and really notice, how does it feel telling it? How do people react? What do you learn about yourself or your communication?
Maybe try like a quick anecdote on X or LinkedIn, and then share something a bit deeper with a close friend or family member.
Exactly. Just experiment and observe.
So what's the big takeaway here? Storytelling isn't some fixed talent you either have or don't. It's a dynamic skill. You can learn it, Practice it, get better at it.
Right.
It really is your most powerful way to connect authentically. Whether it's that quick, funny story that makes someone smile or a really vulnerable moment that builds true understanding.
Start small, be intentional, and just watch the difference it makes.
And maybe a final thought to mull over.
Consider this. The stories you choose to tell, the spontaneous ones, the really personal ones, they don't just report your experiences. They actively shape how you understand yourself, and they literally build the connections you have with others. Your stories create your reality, in a way.